It's time for The Dark Advantage, starring the Dark Muse. Dun, 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 dun. Well, the third edition, it's June 2nd, 2017, here on Springfield, Oregon, coming at you going strong. So this is the Authentic Human Being Show, and let me just maybe move this camera a little bit over here, because I noticed in the other videos we saw Rena's eye down here looking at us, kind of hard, you know. I moved her up here so you could see more of her, you know. She was, you know, there was that one eye looking at you. Reminds me of that woman from Black Sails, you know, the psycho with the hat, you know, the comb over the eye, you know, peekaboo look, you know. So where were we? Oh yeah, fucking Raphael. You know, it occurs to me that Vicky really, and everybody else in on the master plan expected me to stay the night. They thought that was a given. You know, house full of women. Okay, and there's Rosemary and Lillian down there on the kitchen island talking their stuff. See, they both dated Errol Flynn. Sexy stuff. These are sexy, beautiful Rosamond women of the Rose. See, and that was always hot for us kids growing up, to be around these beautiful Rose women and their stories and Errol Flynn, Hollywood. So that's sexy stuff. And they weren't at the epicenter of it, but they sure knew how to work it. And they had something that was very key, and that's a sense of humor. And you can see that. I got that. And you can see that Tom Snyder doesn't have any sense of humor. And this is how he's going to be condemned. See? This is why he will be taken in the Revolution of France and guillotine. He's going to the guillotine because he's got no sense of humor. Let them eat cake. Well, that's cruel. And Tom has not only replaced Christine's biography, he's replaced mine. This man was hired to intercept two creative people's biographies, born in the same mother and the same family. This is a high crime of art. This is a high literature crime. He did this. My brother read got to proofread this book before it was published. I imagine Vicky did. I imagine Garth Benton did. You know, how about Scott Hale? How about Aunt Lily? Did they get to proofread this? And they left in the lie about the looting. There was a crime committed. Vicky was the executor. She should have got on the phone and said, "Help! Come over here. My family's looting the estate. They're going through the closet, taking all the clothes with price tags on them." That's in here. Seriously, what I'm going to have to do is make a separate tape where I read from beginning to end all the marked tabs. So that'll be kind of my index or appendix. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe, but an executor judge thought that was a good idea because they depicted me as the dark brother. I mean, it's really a libelous claim. And it was really aimed at destroying my book, if and when it got finished. But after I would read this, how can anybody go on? You know, I mean, why don't I just go end it? You know, cut my throat or jump in the ocean, you know? Snyder said he wouldn't take my program, but he takes it big time. He told me he's going to. After he promised me he won't. So here I am on page 142. Mind you, I don't think anybody wanted to fuck Tom Snyder. After he met one of the Royal Roses, Lillian, probably shook his hand and touched him, He thought he was going to get laid, by somebody. Maybe a little, No, no one wanted to fuck him. He didn't know us. He never met us. He never met Christine. Never, met me. He's a hired hand. He's a hired assassin, character assassinator. That's what he is. See. It was especially hard for Christine because she had great difficulty in removing anyone from her life. She'd put Larry and others to rest, but it took her years to manage that. Partly it was, I think, that she found it hard, even if shown the evidence, to accept that others were doing her wrong. She truly loved people and always believed the best about them. That was part of what set her apart from her family. Her sister Vicky was in many ways stronger, but didn't trust people as Christine did. There was a firm belief in Christine that you trust people unconditionally. She found that same trust in her Aunt Lillian and loved her deeply for it. Quote, Christine's family situation really had been terrible, and she revealed a lot of that. Her mother was alcoholic and often hit her, and she was molested by her father. She talked of being locked in closets and discouraged from drawing. Her brother, Christine said, was to be the painter. If he placed a spot of paint on a canvas, Rosemary would call it a masterpiece. Wow. Now Garth is a master bona fide artist, He's read the proof of this, He knows, see, that there's a code of ethics amongst artists. Don't let the business people, ravage an artist for any reason, because that's the brotherhood, see. But Garth said, Mark said, Vicky said, Napoleon said, yeah, give it to him. If he placed a spot of paint on a canvas, Rosemary would call it a masterpiece. How vile this is. Her brother, Christine said, was to be the painter. If he placed a spot of paint on a canvas, Rosemary would call it a masterpiece. What we're reading about being locked in a closet here and discouraged from drawing, well, that was bullshit. A flyer I saw, I think around 1981, I shot by the gallery, and it was modeled on Mommy Dearest. I called it Christine. I says, you weren't drawing, painting when you were 3 and a half. You didn't have to go hide in a closet, and you're demonizing me. She says, well, that was aimed at Rosemary. I said, oh, you shoot a bullet through me to hit Rosemary? So that's repeated. And this is a whole key in why Tom Snyder gets to publish this and have my daughter read this and the other family members read this and the whole art world read this, see. Because Rosemary wanted me to be an artist and she didn't want Christine to be an artist. What a fucking lie. this is deliberately, I mean, it's vile. I mean, aimed at saying, God, it's Greg, it's John Gregory Pascal. He's responsible for what? Making her a famous artist? Making millions? What did I do? If me and my mother conspired to oppress her, well, we failed. She only came back, we're responsible for her success, if you really want to know. If we hadn't oppressed her, and if she didn't want to get back at being locked in the closet, or to get her, Mommy, lock her in the closet and beat her with a clothes hanger. She wants to paint like me. This is all aimed at permission for Jackie Belford, Stacey Perot, to move in and take over the business and write books and get money from the books and mainly money from the movie. Whew. A dark advantage. There's this picture on I started a Facebook called When You Close Your Eyes. It's got the picture of Rosemary lining her 3 oldest children up, right next to this painting on this bookshelf that toured the world when I was 12. I did it when I was 12, and it's a very good watercolor. And it was chosen out of 100 students across America to tour the world. So it just wasn't a dab of paint on a canvas. And Christine was not painting. In fact, she truly admired that work of art. It truly inspired her. It was the hope. Rosemary wasn't an artist. Vic was not an artist. They were destructive alcoholics, narcissistic alcoholics, who fought with one another for the limelight. And they used their kids to fight with each other. Who loves you most? You're not thinking about loving your father, are you, that son of a bitch? Yeah, that went on. But Tom wasn't there. He wasn't suffering. What was going on at his little house with Mrs. Cleaver? Oh, Tommy, did you get your Tinker Toy set put away? No, Mommy, I don't want to do it. I want an ice cream cone. Well, Tommy, if you don't pick up your Tinker Toys, you can't have an ice cream cone. That's who he is. See, he didn't have dynamic people, creative people that went out with Errol Flynn. And he didn't have the kind of people that had sense of humor and dark humor. Christina and I shared very much the same sense of humor, and so did Rosemary, so did Aunt Lillian. The 4 of us getting together and talking and being human was something else. And it's never really described as a sense of humor. Christina had a very biting sense of humor. And I was a model for that. It's one of the things she loved about me the most. I would take it from people. I would expose people's bullshit like I am now. Because I knew better, see? I'm educated. I know about art. I read a lot about art. In fact, I even thought about writing biographies for those art books. I read a lot of them. So, let's see, where we head to. Oh my God, back to Raphael. Raphael hanging there, So somehow she really was disappointed that I wasn't staying behind. Somehow when they met the day before and made their plot, one of the things they needed was for me to be in that house alone with Shannon. See, because Shannon was accusing every male in the family but me of incesting her, sexually coming on to her, trying to seduce her. And this was vital, and that was going on in Christine's autobiography she was exposing the family incest, especially in regards to Shannon. They did not want her autobiography to see the light of day. See? So Snyder talks about it. It didn't happen to him, like Carrie Fisher. Things happened to Carrie Fisher or Joan Crawford's daughter, Christine, that was her name, Crawford. None of this happened to him. See, no one wants to fuck Tom Snyder because he's a little wimpy asshole. He's got him, he's
I miss her, precious. I miss her, precious.
He's Smeagol, He's a little fucking little leech turd, something that comes out of the fucking Satan's rectum, and it gets light because a rose is past him. It brought him to life.
I miss her, precious.
So Raphael didn't want to fuck that little fucker. And Pip didn't want to. Cindy Blake didn't want to. No one wanted to fuck him. Because he's already fucked. So they made a plan, Okay, line up the women in the bedroom, and hope that John Gregory Prescott passes the holy rose seed amongst us, so the bellies of the chosen ones will swell with creative DNA. See, I had to get it, So my daughter finally shows up, when she's 16, her mother's responding to the website advertisement for people that knew Christine to be in this book. Well, not this book, the other book written by, shoot. Where's that book? Anyway, we'll get to that book. So, yeah, supposed to stay there, live there. I got nothing to do. Guard Shannon, and pass my holy rose seed to the women. They go home and have a contest to see who gets pregnant. Who does it? This guy took, Smeagol talks about our DNA a lot. He said, I don't know what was going on. It must have been in the DNA. It must have been the created DNA. But of course, I didn't get any of it. Where are we? So, yeah, it was really disappointing. I almost said I don't want to go home because Raphael and I deserve to have been intimate that way. We really did. And he sort of really depicts her as a little sex pot associated on the upper level echelon at high school with the socials. See, who's the kids of movie stars in Brentwood, and they drove Bentleys to school. What's his name? Masterson's son sat across me and Brian. But it would have been healthy. It would have been I'm talking about 17 issues, 16. It would have been healthy for us. And Christine absolutely livid. The thought that I and Raphael would get together, she was obsessed with it. Absolutely obsessed with it. And this was the chance for it to happen if I'd stayed the night. Michael, on the way home, he tells me that he went to the airport with Pip to drop somebody off who had to go back home, and when they're getting in the car, she backed him up against the car and grabbed his head and stuck her tongue deep in his throat. He's like, Oh, yeah, the tongue, you know. I mean, this is Species, right? This is that movie Species, you know. Ah, ah, ah. Deep tongue, you know. The black tongue, the dark advantage, you know. He's, get away, stop, you know. He sees Raphael coming up to me and he's just like, my God, you know, I gotta get my friend out of there, you know. You know, right? You know, we're gonna have another dark and stormy rainy night. You know, and here comes another rogue wave. Cue the wave! You know? We got rid of one of them, but one of them's still alive, and they're like twins. They both gotta go, or it's never gonna work for us. So, like we're both dazed. You know, we left, I don't know, it was 12 at midnight, and we're both like dazed, you know, and there's silence for about 5 minutes. And Michael says, you know, I've never been to a theme funeral before. I look at him. Don't let the dream die. And we both just started laughing. I mean, what a genius thing to say. Never been to a theme funeral before. Yeah, don't let the dream die, see, you know. So anyway, you know, I like Rena's eye down here, you know, that one eye looking at us, you know. So I've kind of moved her up here because I have an idea for a comic book or a TV series. You know, Wonder Woman's coming out, but I'm going to go with Dark Muse, see. Be all based upon, you know, my experiences, you know, in the dark Advantage art world, and where I rescue her on Venice Beach, and she, you know, and we go camping and bond in the beauty, you know, like Adam and Eve in paradise, and all of a sudden I get a notice that my sister's died, the other famous artist, you know, the famous artist died. I got to go to the funeral. You know, and she said, I don't want to go to LA ever again. I hate the place. I'm glad you rescued me and took me out of there, you know. So, so I, leave her alone up on Mount Tamalpais to be mating in her tent. I'll be back in 2 days, my love. You know, I get in my 50 Dodge and go to the airport, and she waits 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And I never come back. And she comes out, you know, like Eve, this beautiful, beautiful woman, you know. This goddess comes down from the mountain and she sees a newspaper, first it was Rosamond and then it was John. They are both gone. The art world has lost both. The most creative brother. She goes, oh my God, in tears, he's dead. I'm all alone in the world. I'm the muse of the abandoned muse, What happened? And she's reading this account and she goes, this is bullshit. This is a lie. It's a lie. The next thing we see that she's sewing this costume together, You talk about Rosemary being a seamstress and Christine, and she puts the costume on, and this is the dark muse. And she goes to Carmel, seeking revenge on those who disappeared. John, the love of her life, who she was enjoying fornicating with very much, and now no man will ever have her and touch her. See, and she go, like 10 little Indians. She finds, the people at the funeral, and disappears them. She's like the cat, it's like cat women and stuff like that. See, people be looking at this film and going,
We need a psychiatrist. Immediately, this person is very, very threatening to me. Schmiegel! Bring me another gin and tonic, Schmiegel! Yes, master.
See, it's writing itself. See, I've been telling people, you know, I just can't get it down fast enough. I can't record it. This is why I'm going, you know, with the recording, you know. It's good. It's all good. The dark muses with us. And she's got a dark sense of humor. She's darkly beautiful, you know. And she's out for revenge, you know. She's had it. The art world has turned on her. Big time. It's destroyed her, taken away the love of her life, and she's, the art world, look out, for she's coming to your town. All right. We'll probably make one more of this as we go through the book and stuff. Okay, adios.